After India's chess prodigy Praggnanandhaa's incredible journey at the FIDE World Cup, the 18-year-old is all set to arrive in India tomorrow. And CNN News 18's Anand Narasimhan spoke exclusively with Praggnanandhaa's coach. Let's listen in to this conversation.
How did you think Praggnanandhaa fared in the World Cup?
Extremely good, much beyond our expectations. Of course, Pragg's ultimate aim is to become a world champion eventually. And we were having a time frame like 3 to 5 years from now, because Magnus Carlsen, who is the current world champion, he did it at the age of 22 and Pragg is 18. So we were thinking like probably when he's around 21, 22, 23, we should be able to do it, and we are working towards it. And coming all the way to finals, excellent performance.
He opened with white, game 1, right? And
yes.
there was that exchange of the pawn and knights which happened. If my memory serves me right, it was the 12th move where Magnus actually took nearly about half an hour to make his move, to make that sacrifice. Do you think Pragg could have won that game?
Yeah, I think in the first game, in the tiebreak game, Pragg had a very decent chance to have turned it in his favor. And he was doing quite well. And I was kind of hoping maybe the chances now like 60-40 that he will win this game. And at the worst case, it will be a draw. But then the nerves set in and the tiredness probably. He started making few inaccurate moves. And then I realized like, okay, this is less to do with chess than with the nerves and the emotions and the energy levels. So he started kind of collapsing a bit too soon. And he lost the game, the first one, and subsequently drew second, and he lost the match eventually. Yeah.
So how do you guys discuss it? Tell us what happens behind the scenes after a match. You give him a 1 or 2 day cooling off period, or is it the straight away post-match postmortem that happens and
no, we believe like that. Yes, so we believe the postmortem should happen only after life has left the body, not when life is still alive. In the sense, we normally don't discuss in depth what is happening in the middle of a tournament. Only after the event is complete, we generally try to discuss things threadbare. Sometimes this discussion can take like a couple of days also. Like we wait for the right time to discuss this, not at the heat of the moment. Because when he has lost the game, he's already upset with himself. And when he comes back, he gets a negative feedback. Even if it is logical and objective, it won't be received well. So I generally reserve my critical comments for when he is in the mind to receive it. So we generally go for a walk, then he knows like, okay, we are going to discuss some important issues. And the good thing with Pragg is like he knows like I'm trying to just present my opinion as a professional, no personal judgments involved. So he can take it as it comes, and he also gives his versions.
You know, I was proud, also amazed that 4 of the 8 quarterfinalists were Indians. And yes, a lot of them youngsters. So today, a Gukesh at 17 is India #1. You know, World Cup finalist at 18. Youngest at the candidates, it's going to be Praggnanandhaa or Pragg. What is it with these youngsters that makes them special? Or is there something that you would like them to also perhaps furthermore imbibe so that they can just get better? So both ways, the good and the bad.
Yes.
Or the good and the need to improve.
Yeah. So it all started probably like 4 decades ago when Vishwanathan Anand became India's first grandmaster. 88, 89, he became India's first grandmaster and kind of started the proceedings. But then it took a long time for India to produce more grandmasters than him. And for a very long time we had probably 2 or 3 grandmasters. That's it. And then came the next crop of young generation, which included myself as well. I started playing chess when Anand became a GM. And then subsequently, I became a GM, and we had probably around 10 GMs around that point, which was like around 20 years ago. But since then, like most of our generation, we became trainers, and we started sharing our experience and knowledge with the subsequent generations. And then we were kind of laying a platform, you can say, a large base from which few great talents can come up. And I see probably like in the work that has been done the last 20-25 years, it's started to bear the fruits. But I still believe like maybe we have achieved 10% of our potential. I still believe like a lot of journey ahead for our nation.